Hi there folks, welcome back to another Tayar podcast session. This episode we will be reviewing some of the bands that me and my colleague went to see Sunday the 29th of June at the HEARTLAND festival in Pitlochry. The festival was fantastic, I think we can say that. Definitely well received. I believe there was about 8,000 people there. Today I'm joined by a special guest who was with me at the festival. He's a good friend of mine. His name is Callum Finlay. Callum and I, we've been to a few music shows as well, but what I did want to say was Callum is a personal trainer and he has his own facility here in Perth. If anybody's interested in fitness, I'll leave Callum's details underneath this thing and you can speak to him at your own discretion. He's got a legacy of people who have definitely found an improvement with his service. So, hi Callum, welcome to TR Podcast.
Hello everyone, and thanks Gav for that great introduction.
Thank you.
And thanks for putting my business out there, that's much appreciated. Just say this now, I'm not a musician, I'm not an expert by any means, like our good host Gav here. I am a massive music enthusiast, and I was really happy that Gav asked me to come along to this festival.
Well, you've actually beat me to the punchline there, Callum. What I was going to do is I was going to actually ask you about your music. So I believe there's one particular individual that comes to my mind that you are a very diehard fan, should I say?
Yeah, I think who Gav's referring to is Bruce Springsteen.
Correct. Callum and I went to see him in 2016 at Hampden Park. But yeah, tell me Callum, do you often go and see live music or?
I do obviously enjoy going to see live music.
You're a fan of Twin Peaks, so you went to see the Chromatics, is that right, when they were here in Glasgow?
Yeah, massive fan of Twin Peaks, massive fan of The Return and the music that revolves around the entire Twin Peaks universe. It's just magical. The Chromatics and Desire had a great opportunity to go and see them in Glasgow. Now the venue isn't coming to me right now.
It was Stereo Bar, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
It's one up the side street from Central Station.
They were fantastic. That was a fantastic gig. Great atmosphere. Johnny Jewel and the rest of the bands put on a fantastic show that night. It couldn't have been any better.
Good. So we're talking about the HEARTLAND Festival on the Sunday. You came up. The first band that we'll talk about is Cloud House. So they played on the Discovery stage.
Yeah, to me that's why this festival is so important, why it's such a great place for these bands, because there's so much talent out there, and I think that band was a great example of that. They had a great sound. It was almost like...
How would you describe it?
It's fun.
Because I know how I would describe it. Let me hear your thoughts. Well, who would you compare it to? Who do you think they sound like that other listeners might think they sound similar to?
Well, don't know if I could nail it down to one specific band, but they were very melodic. They were pop, punk, rock, just fun to listen to. They reminded me of Blink a little bit.
I would have said that they were more like an American indie rock sound. As you're well aware in the podcast, I'm not too fond of indie rock music, but Cloud House, I don't know what it is, they just had a majestic charm about their music. I would define them more on the American indie rock side. Definitely influenced by pop punk, definitely by indie rock bands sort of the mid-noughties. Things like The View and the Wombats.
They reminded me a lot of, like what Gav's saying, what this pop punk sound was like in the 90s. California type.
California. For me it was late 90s. I was a massive fan of watching a programme called The OC. So the music that I hear on that's what I'm referring to when I say American indie rock. There was a load of bands that kind of came out through The OC, and Cloud House, I feel that they captured that as well. But the one thing that I noticed, it was the cadence in his vocals. It was that strong Scottish kind of Glaswegian accent that came through, and I just thought it was magic. It put a fresh approach on it, and I really did enjoy that.
Yes, I picked up on that as well. I always really appreciate it when you can hear an artist add a little bit more personality to their vocals, because that will allow their character shine through. while they perform.
I'm sure there was a keyboard player as well on stage, if I'm thinking of the right band. 2 guitarists, 1 bass player, drummer. They kind of just look like, again, it's like how we defined Spoke Too Soon, a group of mates that probably were going out just for the festival. Again, yeah, they were pleasant beings. We even actually met up with them during the festival. I can't remember which performance, or maybe it was a break that was on.
Yeah.
But we managed to find them.
Really nice guys.
Yeah, really humble guys as well. So definitely, if you're into that sort of pop punky, indie rocky sound,
it's just
definitely
music
check them out. Yeah,
that makes you feel good.
It is.
Brightens things up.
I really did enjoy it. I thought these guys sound great, and I certainly look forward to seeing them again.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. I'm really big on how music makes me feel. So if I put something on and it just makes me think of a place or a time or that.
A positive connotation.
Yes, a positive connotation. Yeah, you can get from a band like that. You know?
And they did. They had nice. It was just a nice charm about them. Moving on,
Definitely.
Next band that we've got as well. It's not so much a band. I think it's more of a singer-songwriter who's formed a band. Martin Mulady. I can't think of the first couple of bands that were on. Obviously, bar Cloud House, but I actually really enjoyed his set.
So did I. I thought that Martin had a fantastic voice.
Yeah.
And it fit in really, really well with the way that him and his band sounded.
Yeah.
You know? After that, the second thing I noticed was he was very good at interacting with the crowd in between songs. He had a very relaxed way about him.
He actually did, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He had a great stage presence.
Martin Mulady was on the Discovery stage. The Discovery stage is basically local or sort of smaller scale artists. The main stage was for more sort of bigger ones that maybe have been playing a lot more than that. But Martin Mulady, I thought he was fantastic.
Yeah, he was.
I think out of all the bands, I think he's the one that I definitely want to be the first to go and see.
It's funny you say that, because Martin Mulady really, he's the one that I was thinking about when we were like driving home.
Alright.
You know, and thinking, I'm actually looking, I want to
go and see him again.
Go and see him again. Listen to more of his stuff.
He plays rock, but again, I feel there's a bit of an indie rock. I feel it's more pop rock though. I don't.
Yeah.
It's hard because when you defining a sound, if you start throwing sort of labeling it as X and Y, people can get a bit misinterpreted by it. So I'd say it was like a pop rock, indie rock sound.
Yeah, I was going to say that as well.
The the songwriting it's definitely dynamic.
Yes.
It's definitely got harmony in there. It's definitely catchy. And I've been listening to most of today. I've been listening to his song "Moving On." I'm sure that was from a recent release. I can't remember exactly which one it is.
I had an opportunity to actually speak to Martin after he got finished performing, and I must have been standing speaking to him for about 10-15 minutes. It was really interesting just to hear about how he interprets music and what really drives him. You know, everyone's got a journey in music, whether you just enjoy music and you're not a musician like me, or you're a performing musician, artist like you guys. And it was really interesting just to get an insight into his journey, how he's learned a lot and listened to a lot of stuff, and how he's went back to his roots. He started off listening to a lot of Green Day. Right.
This song "Moving On," I keep thinking there's a pop punk feel in there. Like, definitely. Now, I wouldn't define Green Day as pop punk. I would say that they were more punk rock.
Yes.
Still, there's cadences within it. And yeah, I felt very relaxed and I very much enjoyed it. I could take myself away from the analytical side of it because I was getting into the music and I was enjoying it. So I kind of knew, not necessarily what I was expecting, but I could just enjoy the experience.
Yeah, yes.
Without being analytical.
Absolutely. Me personally, I'm very much naturally drawn towards artists that are great storytellers and songwriters.
Hence Bruce Springsteen.
So I love getting into that kind of things and learning where a great songwriter's inspiration comes from to tell a story through a song.
But then by doing that, once you've listened to that story, do you take that story and reflect it upon your own life experience?
Of
and
course.
say, oh man, that makes me think of this, or that makes me think of a relationship,
Absolutely.
or that makes me think of having a bad day at work.
It needs to be relatable, otherwise there's not going to be a connection between the person listening to the music and the person that creates the music. There needs to be that relatability. And yeah, I feel like Martin was telling stories during the songs.
Moving On, I'm hooked on Moving On. I absolutely think that's an amazing song.
Great song.
But there was a slower song that he done, and I didn't really catch much of it. I was kind of zoning in and out, but that kind of thing affected me. That was something that was drawing me further into his performance and making me pay attention. I was kind of, I think I must have been distracted with something else, but that, listening to that song, I was deeply interested. I was deeply sort of attuned to Martin. Definitely.
It's interesting that way, because I think with a lot of songs there's a hook. There's a catchy hook that will get you going back and listening again straight away. Also, there's sometimes songs can gradually grow on you. And I think that both forms of music storytelling are effective.
Well, the thing that you could argue is that, because this is what you've taught me, is that music is personal, and it affects us in different ways. So, for example, you might connect with a song lyric, whereas I might connect with a melody. And the meaning that we can get from a song, even though the writer or the performer has projected it in a certain way, the way in which it can affect the audience fascinates me as well, because they'll have their own interpretation and experience from that, and their answer will be, or it may be, different from my own.
Absolutely. And from my experience, there's something that I've picked up on. For example, Gav, very talented musician.
Thank you.
He could potentially be more drawn to the instrumentals within a song and an album, whereas I potentially be drawn more to the lyrical content because I'm not a musician. I don't play instruments. I don't understand these things to the same degree.
That doesn't necessarily mean that should go to thing. However, you are absolutely right. The first thing that I normally do when I hear a band is I analyse the instrumentation. With my own music project, Ethelian, I'm constantly thinking about instrumentation and voicing. We're talking about Martin, so when Martin was playing, he played the Les Paul, a Gibson Les Paul guitar, and I'm thinking to myself, why? I'm sure there was 2 Les Paul guitars in that band, and I thought, why? I'm listening to the EP recording. Sounds great, don't get me wrong, but I'm thinking to myself, could one of those guitars be different to kind of change the tonality and give the song a bit of a different character? Could that work? Again, it's everything that I'm thinking about. The drums, he's only playing with 2 toms instead of 6 toms, or he's only got a crash and a ride as opposed to having 3 crashes and 2 rides, or a China or whatever. I'm thinking about how all these different things can augment as well as diminish a performance. As you talk about, like, the first thing that you do is you tune into what the singer's saying. For me, it's tuning into what's going on with the band. The bass player, he's playing a precision bass. Why is he not playing a jazz bass? Everything's got their own tone and frequency and defining character as well. Just exactly as what lyrics can do as well. They have a defining character. If that word is different, that may change the tonality of the lyrics in the song and the message that's being conveyed.
Absolutely. I mean, everything comes together when you listen to a song, whether you're an art, where you can play it or not. It's all about interpretation, and you're going to enjoy the music regardless.
Oh, aye.
Whether you can analyse it from a technical perspective or not.
Yeah. No, good.
Martin was great. Martin was fantastic.
Martin Mulady, I can honestly say that I'm most certainly looking forward to seeing him again. Right, moving on. This is a bit of an odder choice from us. I don't think we've ever really spoken about folk rock music before, but Torridon. The members have all gravitated to one another from the Highlands of Scotland. A few of them were from Beaulieu. I think one came from Elgin. They're very much a folk rock band. They had bagpipes in there, piano, electric guitar, drums, bass. During their set, one or two of their songs were instrumental. They went more of a traditional Scottish, how would you say it, sort of like a 12/8 vibe. The bagpipes took over and it was playing more of a lead role there. Definitely an interesting choice in comparison with the other performances that we heard that day.
I liked the bagpipes. I thought that was a nice touch.
Yeah, it was just something a wee bit different, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's state the obvious, but you've got a Scottish band. If they can figure out how to integrate bagpipes into their music, it's never going to be a bad thing, is it? And I think they did it fantastically. I thought it sounded great.
I mean, that was the first time that I've heard all these bands before, so Torridon, I kind of got an idea that there'd be something a wee bit different. And to be honest with you, they didn't disappoint.
No, absolutely not. Their sound flowed so well.
Yeah.
Everything, just all the instrumentals just integrated so well. And
yeah,
they had a
no,
great
there was
sound.
nothing that clashed out. Sort of the folk rock was just fantastic. I bought their EP Polaroid. I've been listening to that. I have to be in the mood for it. It's not something that I can just plug in.
It's not necessarily a bad thing though, is it?
No, in order to respect it, for me I have to be in the mood for it. I get like that with a lot of the Scottish folk albums, that I have to be in the mood with it.
Yeah.
So Torridon are fantastic. I know that they've played a few festivals. They've played the Macmoray Festival along with Bad Actress, which is pretty cool. I think they've done a few of the sort of Ceilidh things for Celtic Connections as well. I'm sure they've also played with the Red Hot Chili Pipers as well, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're definitely getting their name out there, and the crowd certainly reacted to them fairly positively, so well done for them.
Oh yeah, they had a great, again, another band with a fantastic stage presence. They got everyone going.
Aye.
The crowd was jumping and moving, and they were loud and they were enjoying themselves, so they had great crowd interaction.
The quality in the musicianships was really good as well. I think, I'm not quite sure if they'd been changing. I don't know if if members have kind of came and gone with that band, but they certainly sounded really sort of professional and tight fit. I mean, what were they? They were the third last band on the main stage, so they've definitely established their name well, and they're on the music scene somewhere in Scotland anyway, which is really good. Torridon, definitely a good call out. Highly recommend checking them out as well. Okay, so last band that we've seen on Sunday. Special thanks to Alan Sweeney for getting us up there.
Absolutely.
This is the Crumb.
At that point, I think I was fueling up on the brewery.
Wasted Degrees.
Oh yeah, Wasted Degrees. A shout out to them.
Aye.
They were fantastic.
Pitlochry based brewery.
Their IPA,
well
their
done.
lager,
their
amber ale. Tried them all.
Anyway.
But just back to reeling right back. Went off on a bit of a tangent there. I think I was actually speaking to Martin.
Is that what you were doing?
Well, anyway, when I got caught up.
I had to go. I'm sorry, but I had to go, Calma. I was just so excited to see them. I think they're brilliant. Tayar podcast have reviewed them. They performed back in March at Sláinte in Perth. The venue wasn't exactly the best. The band played fantastic, but they were kind of cramped in a wee corner, which wasn't really...
Yeah, the gig from before.
That's that. This time I was very much looking forward to seeing them on the stage. Now, it's kind of awkward because I don't like going down the front. I like to kind of be somewhere in the middle because that's where you can hear it at its best. You've got the speakers kind of coming in at a slight angle.
Yeah.
So you don't really hear the best if you're down the front. But anyway, couldn't resist it, went away down the front. caught the attention of Frankie and Alan, and they were super excited to see me, along with a load of other people as well, which was just great. There was a fair few folk that you could tell were definitely there to see them, and what an experience it was. But their music, we've got four members. Frankie's on bass, Lee's on drums, Dan's on lead guitar, and Alan is the main man playing electric guitar mainly until you hit Silver Spoon when he fires up the wee keyboard thing. 90 indie rock, absolutely amazing. Again, I'm not one for indie rock, but there's just something in Alan Sweeney's songwriting.
Yeah,
it just hits me.
It just
gets me.
I missed a bit of them. I missed a bit of their set, but from what I caught at the end, these guys are fantastic.
Oh, aye.
Absolutely fantastic. They've like everything that Gav just said about their sound is bang on.
Yeah.
They've got a hold of something special.
I was listening to one or two of them because I've actually now bought Right On Cue, and I can't say that it sounds like Oasis, but it definitely makes me think of that sort of Britpop, Brit-rock of the 90s. It's just got that amazing attitude and sort of girthy rock tone, but the lyrics are there, and the lyrics are so interesting to listen to. There's a song called My Amphetamine, and it just makes me want to get in the car and go for a drive on the motorway and the volume cranked up, because it definitely makes me feel alive. There's loads of bands that I've found through Tayar podcasts that have made me do that, but the Crom are just wow. Currently they're working on an EP at a local facility. It's called Friends in High Places. They played that song, which is from it, and oh man, what a sound. It sounds fantastic. The
points that Gav's touching on, and he's saying it makes him feel passionate. It makes him want to just
pick up a guitar and rock out.
Yeah, it hits something on a more emotional level.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like that only happens when the artist is truly passionate about what they're projecting with the music and the words and everything like that. And I feel like the Crom and the other three bands artists that we've talked about tonight,
Cloudhouse, Martin Mulady and Torridon,
it all came natural. It only works when it comes natural, and I feel like they really were able to project that through their performances. It only works if an artist can do that.
Aye, that's it. Good vibe music
all across the board.
What a brilliant weekend we had. Both Saturday and Sunday, I was absolutely blown away with the quality of music. I was speaking to a sound engineer just by chance on Saturday.
Yeah.
He kind of started it. He's like, oh, some of these bands, man. And I said, I can't believe the talent that's been here. There was a young boy that come from Montrose. You've got the Crom that come from Perth. You've got a few of them that are from likes Glasgow, Central Belt, Delta Manic. They came from Alloa. Loads of stuff. Seriously, Graham Howie and his team that put on Heartland Festival, absolutely well done, because you've done an absolute fantastic job.
It was a great setting. It was a great day, great weather. Couldn't have asked for a better day.
For the Crom to have headlined that festival when the sun was still in the sky and it was all eyes on them, and as you say, you're talking about Ben Vrake, and then the other ones, Ross surrounding it. What an experience, man. Yes. That would have been absolutely top dollar.
I mean, Perthshire's it's just a beautiful, beautiful part of the country. Anyway.
Perthshire will always be home to me, and more so north.
Yes.
Than sort of west or east.
I would say the exact same thing. That's how I feel. It's how I've always felt. It's how I will always feel. This will always be my home.
Perthshire is an absolute magical place to be.
Yes, it is. Almost don't want to talk about it because it's so nice. You know what I mean?
Graham Howie and all his people that have been affiliated with putting on the Heartland Festival, massive round of applause. Well done. It was absolutely fantastic. I also want to take this opportunity to thank my good friend Callum for coming up here as well. As it was previously mentioned, Neil couldn't be there because he was actually away on holiday. So thank you, Callum, for coming along, and I'm glad that you enjoyed yourself.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate you having me on, doing something like this. This is completely different for me. I've never done anything like this before. This is my first podcast, but it's been a treat. I've enjoyed talking to Gav, getting to talk about that festival, and what Gav's doing is fantastic, and there needs to be more of it.
Well, it's funny that's what the boys say as well.
Yeah, I mean, Gav's doing everything he can to try and promote local music and help these bands, and I think that the more people know about this, the better, because it's all good stuff, all good vibes.
But see, every single one of them bands that we've seen, they're all Scotland, man. That's what freaked me out the most. How much talent, how much musical talent, how much professionalism we actually have in music.
I mean, I've been to...
These people were amazing.
I've been to a couple of gigs with you, as well as this festival.
You came to the Live and Wilder event at Banshee Labyrinth.
Yes.
With Crusaders and Record and Hyperstasis.
Yes. And it just, I found it really struck me how good these bands are.
Aye, really good. The amount of effort that they put in, the amount of perseverance through the lineup change that they put in, the amount of practice that they were rehearsing but actually refining their songs and their set lists.
It's an absolute treat.
You know, and they're going out, they're playing shows to whoever or for free. I argue that needs to stop. Even if it's £5 to go and see them, these bands deserve to be paid.
Yes, they do.
These, you know, it's fair enough if they've got merch and that. You can buy that and they can make a wee bit of money off that. But these bands definitely deserve to be paid. They deserve a future in music. You know, you're not talking about just bringing a wee bit of money home to pay the bills or to pay a band. You're talking about investing in the future. And see all of these bands and all the other bands that we've seen through Tayar podcasts. Scotland's music is rich. Absolutely rich.
The well is deep.
Anyway, thanks to everybody again for listening to this podcast. I'm Gavin. Find us on Facebook and Instagram. The majority of the videos have now been uploaded onto Instagram. Within the space of 2 hours, I uploaded 18 videos, and within 36 hours, those 18 videos have accumulated over something crazy like 2,000 views. Thanks to every single person for doing that.
That's
please follow us for more content as well. If you like what we're doing,
the more people
like and subscribe to our Facebook page, YouTube, all that stuff. At the end of the day, we're trying to make a name for ourselves to help other musicians make a name for them.
That's what I just wanted to say. That is, the more people that check this out and give it some attention, the better. It's helping local bands get out there.
It's putting pressure on young bands to go, alright, okay, so, you know, these guys are paying attention to us, alright, they're saying that, you know, we're good at this or we're bad at that, well, how can we improve? It's all a positive thing. There should be nothing bad about this. We're honest reviewers, and, you know, if we like you, we like you. If we don't like you, we don't like you. Don't take that personal, but at the end of the day, you know, every time that you share a gig on Instagram, social media, whatever, we'll repost it. We will help try and advertise you. So
everybody wins.
Yeah, everyone wins. And this service that we're doing is costing you nothing. So we're here to help you. So thanks to everybody who keeps listening to this, keeps pushing it out there. We really appreciate it. Go and support live music. And Scotland is definitely a place for live music right now.
Yeah, I think we've seen that firsthand. There's so many, like, keep repeating ourselves, but there's so many good bands out there.
Yeah,
and everyone loves good music.
Thanks again, folks. Stay safe. Support live music.